All around us, we find incredible examples of evolution at work. For instance, consider the mighty giraffe whose towering height is not merely for spectacle, but a culmination of evolutionary pressures. Over millions of years, giraffes have developed elongated necks, enabling them to reach verdant canopies of acacia trees untouched by other herbivores. Under the seas, dolphins too have been blessed by evolution with a unique gift: echolocation, a sophisticated biological sonar system. By creating a series of clicks and interpreting the returning echoes, dolphins navigate their underwater world, communicate within their pod, and hunt with unparalleled precision. So that brings us to the question: why do these animals look the way they do? The answer lies in the evolutionary adaptations they've acquired to survive and thrive within their specific environments. Evolution, driven by natural selection, works like a tinkerer, slowly refining and modifying species over countless generations to better suit their ecological niches. This idea leads us to a fascinating question. If life exists elsewhere in the universe, what adaptations might it have undergone? When we let our minds wander to the domain of extraterrestrial life, what images arise? Perhaps we think of the formidable xenomorphs from the Alien franchise, but more often than not, we picture a being with hairless gray or green skin, a large head, a slender body, a small mouth, and impressively large, captivating eyes. Our collective idea of these entities has been shaped by movies, ancient art, TV shows, and folk stories from around the globe. But this begs an important question, the question we will explore in this video: why do most accounts lead to these creatures being depicted this way? Could it be that the forces that have driven evolution here on Earth have shaped life elsewhere in the same manner? Let's journey into this notion as we examine each of these alien features, one by one, and explore how they might aid in survival, much like the adaptations we've seen here on Earth. From an evolutionary perspective, the size of an organism's eyes is typically influenced by its environment. Organisms living in lower light conditions, for instance, often develop larger eyes to capture as much light as possible. Assuming these alien beings originated from an exoplanet orbiting a red dwarf star, the most common type of star in our galaxy, they would be exposed to dim red light. Scientists suggest in a study published in the Astrophysical journal that life forms evolving under these conditions could develop larger eyes to gather more light, thereby enhancing their ability to see. This theory is further supported by an analysis of terrestrial species. For instance, owls are known for their exceptional night vision and have proportionally large eyes to absorb as much light as possible. The same principle might apply to our hypothetical alien beings. The characteristic blackness of the eyes might serve a protective function. High-energy UV radiation, common on planets orbiting red dwarf stars due to stellar flare activity, is known to cause damage to vision. Studies in the journal Radiation Research suggest that darker pigmentation, as seen in many Earth species, can help protect against such radiation. Additionally, large eyes might serve a communicative purpose. A study in the Royal Society Open Science Journal on cuttlefish, terrestrial creatures with double U-shaped pupils, uses changes in their eyes' shape and color for communication. By analogy, the large, beady eyes of aliens might serve a similar function, a canvas for complex nonverbal communication. Furthermore, in a similar way to how bees and snakes perceive UV and infrared light respectively, it's not far-fetched to imagine these large alien eyes could perceive beyond the visual spectrum of humans. This could offer them a wider understanding of their environment, valuable for survival. Lastly, we must consider the principle of sensory compensation, the idea that a deficit in one sense may lead to the enhancement of another. For example, the star-nosed mole, which is nearly blind, compensates with a highly sensitive snout. Thus, these large eyes might be compensating for deficiencies in other senses. With their oversized craniums often a focal point of extraterrestrial depictions, we naturally question the significance. A larger brain capacity could suggest an advanced intellect or sophisticated cognitive capabilities, potentially far surpassing our own. A larger head can accommodate more complex neural networks, facilitating higher functions like problem-solving, abstract thinking, or telepathic communication, as speculated by some theorists. Advanced civilizations may have undergone an accelerated version of our own encephalization, the evolutionary increase in the complexity and size of the brain relative to body size. Furthermore, the large head could also be an adaptation to an environment with a different gravitational pull. In a lower gravity environment, a larger head wouldn't be a burden, but could provide the benefits of an expanded brain capacity. Starting with their hairlessness, on Earth, we find examples of hairless creatures in both hot and cold environments. For example, the hairless Sphinx cat, bred for its lack of fur, has a higher metabolism than other cats to compensate for the loss of heat through its exposed skin. Similarly, the naked mole rat, a hairless creature that lives in hot, subterranean environments, has a low metabolic rate and can barely regulate its body temperature, relying on the environment to do so. Taking a leaf from the Book of Earthly Life, the absence of hair on these depicted aliens could serve a similar purpose. They might originate from an environment where the regulation of body temperature is either not necessary or achieved by other means. Additionally, hairless skin can also allow for greater sensitivity to environmental changes, acting as a more immediate sensory input for changes in temperature or pressure. Moving on to the color of their skin. The green or gray hues that have become so ingrained in our collective image of aliens may have more to do with their environmental conditions than we imagine. The pigment of an organism's skin can depend heavily on the type of light it receives. For example, plants on Earth are green because of chlorophyll, a pigment that is very efficient at absorbing light in the blue and red spectrums, which our sun emits in high amounts. This is why plants, which rely on photosynthesis for their energy production, are green. Translating this to an alien life form, if their planet's primary light source emitted light in a different spectrum, the organisms there might develop different pigments to absorb it most efficiently. A green or gray skin color might reflect a different spectral composition of light from their home star. For example, stars that are cooler than our sun emit more light in the red spectrum, and a green pigment could be very efficient at absorbing this light. Additionally, the color of their skin could be influenced by their diet. Some animals on Earth, like flamingos, get their vibrant colors from their food. Flamingos are naturally gray or white, but the brine shrimp and blue-green algae they eat are rich in pigments called carotenoids, which turn the flamingo's feathers pink. If extraterrestrial life forms have a similar system of absorbing pigments from their food, it could explain the green or gray coloration. The slender bodies depicted in extraterrestrials might serve a multitude of functional purposes. Here on Earth, a lean physique is often associated with high metabolic efficiency and less energy consumption. This is seen in a variety of animals, including snakes and certain species of primates. An advanced civilization might have pushed the boundaries of evolution to minimize energy consumption and maximize efficiency. In terms of space travel, a slender body might have advantages. Given that traveling in space requires energy and resources, it would be advantageous to have a body structure that uses less energy and requires less food. A leaner body requires fewer calories to maintain, making long space voyages more feasible. A slender body could also be indicative of a reduced reliance on physical strength. In an advanced civilization, the need for physical power may have been replaced by reliance on technology, reflected in the frail physique depicted. When we visualize extraterrestrials, one common characteristic we often depict is their elongated fingers, usually fewer in number than our own. But what could be the potential reasons behind this feature? Firstly, the elongated fingers might be indicative of a fine-tuned evolutionary advantage for specific tasks or environments. For instance, on Earth, primates including humans have developed opposable thumbs, enabling us to grasp and manipulate objects with precision, which has been a significant factor in our species' success. Similarly, an extraterrestrial being with elongated fingers might have developed such features to manage intricate tasks or manipulate complex tools in ways that creatures with shorter digits couldn't. In terms of fewer fingers, it's worth noting that the number of digits on an organism's hand or foot here on Earth is not necessarily indicative of its complexity or advancement. Take birds, for example, who typically have 3 or 4 toes, yet display remarkable dexterity and functionality in their use. Fewer digits may simply be an outcome of their evolution, perhaps promoting efficiency or adapting to their unique environments or technology. Additionally, the reduced number of fingers may suggest advanced neural control. The human brain dedicates a substantial portion of its resources to hand-eye coordination and the manipulation of our 5 fingers. An alien species with fewer digits might have more neural resources available for other tasks, such as problem-solving, telepathy, or the control of technology. Telepathic communication is often theorized in science fiction to explain the relatively small mouth of extraterrestrial beings. This form of communication would reduce the need for vocal cords or a large mouth for articulation. Beyond the realm of fiction, some scientists argue that as civilizations become more advanced, there may be a trend towards nonverbal forms of communication. This could be due to the efficiency and directness that mind-to-mind communication offers. In a way, we're seeing the beginning of this shift in our own society with the development of technologies like brain-computer interfaces. Next, we could consider the intake of nutrients. On Earth, we're used to organisms ingesting food through their mouths, but that's not the only way to fuel a body. Some organisms on our planet, like certain types of fungi and bacteria, absorb nutrients directly from their environment. If an alien life form evolved on a planet with a nutrient-rich atmosphere, it's plausible that they could absorb required sustenance through their skin or other organs, reducing the need for a large, complex mouth. This idea might extend to other methods of absorbing nutrients. Photosynthesis, for example, is used by plants on Earth to convert light energy, usually from the sun, into chemical energy that can be later released to fuel the organism's activities. Some speculative scientists have suggested that advanced aliens might have found a way to utilize a similar process, essentially feeding off the radiation in space. This could potentially explain the greenish skin tone often associated with extraterrestrials, similar to the chlorophyll found in plants. Another fascinating concept to ponder is that a small mouth might indicate that these creatures have outgrown the need for vocal or oral activities, such as eating and speaking, due to their advanced technology. Imagine a civilization so advanced that it uses nanotechnology for nourishment, delivering nutrients directly to the cells, or uses genetic engineering to eliminate the need for physical ingestion entirely. Our speculative journey into the realm of alien anatomy has brought us face to face with some fascinating possibilities. The prominent features of our stereotypical alien might seem otherworldly, but they have potential scientific bases rooted in the principles of evolution and adaptation we observe here on Earth. It serves as a foundation for a video coming soon too, serving as a catalyst to whether these aliens are the next step in our evolution. So as always, thank you for joining us. If you liked this video, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And remember to stay curious, keep exploring, and let's dive into the mysteries of our universe together.